They clicked a 2-for-1 free Caribbean cruise ad on Facebook and started dreaming about umbrella drinks. 3 clicks later, the deposit was paid. At check-in, the free part vanished, without $47 in port fees, mandatory gratuities, resort charges, and a surprise requirement to sit through a timeshare presentation before they could collect cabin keys. How many of these traps are hiding in your booking confirmation right now? Between cruise lines and third parties, fine print, urgency timers, and glossy add-ons can quietly turn a cheap fare into an expensive week. What looks like a deal today often costs more later. Here's the good news: you can beat the playbook. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through 15 scams, fake deals, and add-ons veteran cruisers dodge, so you keep more money for what actually matters. We'll separate scams from aggressive marketing and flag where value shifts for families, solos, and accessibility needs. Most cruisers click fast to lock a sale. Savvy cruisers slow down, skim the terms line by line, and compare the math against how they actually cruise. Pro tip: if a timer is counting down or a box is pre-checked, pause. Pressure is a signal to look closer. This isn't about blaming the crew. The upsell machine is built into policies, apps, and partnerships, and it's gotten louder with 2025 updates. Your job is to spot the tells: vague language, default selections, and offers that trade flexibility for bundled savings. Policies change quickly in 2025. Stick with me to the end for the worst offender, the one that sounds protective yet leaves you exposed when it matters most. But first, let's make sure you even book with a legitimate seller. In 2025, the cruise deal landscape shifted fast. Travel fraud complaints are up 34% year-over-year per FTC data, and onboard upselling is louder as lines chase lost revenue. That mix of slick ads before you book and pressure once you board can turn a bargain fare into an expensive week. I built this list to cut through the noise. I analyzed booking terms from Royal, Carnival, NCL, MSC, Princess, Celebrity, and Disney. Checked practices against CDC VSP reports, spoke with advisors and cruisers in 40-plus groups, and road-tested popular deals on 8 sailings. Here's the scope. We're focusing on booking traps, onboard upsells, and port day money drains that hit wallets. We are not covering ship safety basics or packing checklists in this video. Nuance matters. Not every add-on is a scam. Some fit specific travelers, but are poor value for most. I will flag when a perk makes sense for families, solos, accessibility needs, or sweet enclaves like the Haven, Yacht Club, or the Retreat. Pro tip: if an offer looks protective or free, read exclusions first. Policies change by ship and market, so treat this as a playbook and verify details in your app and terms. Now, let's start with the booking phase, where the first traps are set before you even step on the ship. This guide focuses on the big 6 mass market and premium lines most of you will sail in 2025: Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian, NCL, MSC, Princess, and Celebrity, sailing from US, UK, and Australian ports. That's where the busiest deal engines and add-ons live. Luxury players like Regent, Viking, and Oceania run different models. Fares are more aligned: air, excursions, drinks, so upsell pressure is lower, though some ships still run art auction promos. Disney Cruise Line and Virgin Voyages appear here only when their practices differ in a meaningful way. Key 2025 shifts to note. Royal Caribbean is rolling out auto-enrolled photo packages unless you opt out in the app pre-cruise. Norwegian's Free at Sea free perks now have added blackout dates and category caveats that vary by itinerary. Carnival's VIFP early booking access has shortened from 48 to 24 hours, which changes how early you can grab sail fares. Policies vary by ship, region, and sailing date, so verify details in your app and terms. With that context, let's tackle the first place you can lose money: fake cruise sellers and scam booking sites. Scam number 1. Free cruise, giveaways, and timeshare. Bait and switch. Those glossy Facebook and Instagram ads promising claim your free 7-day cruise, limited spots, are engineered to make you click fast and think later. Most people type in their details, even a card, to hold the spot because the clock is ticking. That's the trap. What actually happens is usually one of 2 things. Either you've agreed to a timeshare pitch in exchange for a low-value cruise certificate with blackout dates, mandatory resort accommodation fees, and fine print that pushes you into off-season sailings. Or you just handed your card to a phishing site that tests small charges before hitting you hard later. Here's how to spot fakes. Legit giveaways come from a cruise line's official account or a verified travel agency partner. They do not ask for any payment up front, not even refundable taxes. The terms are clear, and winners are contacted directly through the same verified account. If a post mentions a promotional cruise certificate, sales presentation required, or asks you to pay port fees now, that's your cue to back out immediately. A real-world example from 2024, a free Carnival cruise promotion required a 120-minute timeshare presentation and $599 in taxes and port fees for a 3-night Bahamas sailing that typically sells around $399 all in. Looks cheaper now, costs more later. Here's a simple pro tip you can use today. Before you enter anything, open the full terms PDF and use your phone's find function for fee, tax, certificate, and presentation. If any show up, screenshot the page and walk away. Per FTC consumer alerts, travel certificates tied to presentations are common, and the refund process is painful even when you comply. If a giveaway still seems promising, call the cruise line and ask them to confirm the agency and the offer. Okay, so you've avoided the outright scams, but even legitimate third-party sites can cost you. Here's how. Scam number 2. Opaque online travel agencies, OTAs with hidden fees and no support. You see a cruise $50 to $100 cheaper on a site you've never heard of, and it feels like a win. The catch hits are service fees of $75 to $200, change penalties, and a reservation you can't manage in the cruise line's app. Looks cheaper, costs more when you can't add drink packages, Wi-Fi, or excursions at pre-cruise rates. What actually happens with opaque OTAs is loss of control. Your money sits with a middleman who may not answer when you need to switch cabins, fix a name, or chase a price drop. In 2024, several small agencies went dark, leaving paid reservations the line couldn't touch without the agency's approval. In the worst cases, documents weren't issued, and guests paid walk-up rates to sail. The smart move is simple. Book directly with the cruise line, or use a CLIA-certified advisor in the line's agent finder. Direct bookings qualify for price drop guarantees, Royal's best price guarantee, and Carnival's price protection, plus loyalty points and access to Cruise Planner. Pro tip: many lines let you transfer a direct booking within 30 days. If a third-party fare looks too good, call the line to confirm the reservation exists and cabin, fare code, and inclusions match. Solo travelers feel it most. Many opaque OTAs don't pass reduced single supplements, studio cabins, or free category upgrades. A good advisor targets solo-friendly inventory. A bad one traps you in double occupancy math. Real example: a princess booking through a now-defunct OTA in 2024 cost the cruiser $420 to rebook when boarding passes weren't issued in time. Chargebacks took weeks. The new fare was higher. Even when you book directly, the cruise line will hit you with upsell offers, some smart, some traps. Let's break down the worst offenders. Scam number 3, fake urgency timers and expiring deals. That repeat. Weekly, that pop-up that screams, "Only 2 cabins left at this price. Offer ends at $459, is built to make you click before you think. Most people panic book, then see the same limited time sale again next week. Carnival, Royal, and NCL rotate promos like kids sail free, second guest 50% off, and reduced deposits. What actually happens behind the curtain is inventory and marketing logic, not real scarcity. The timer is often tied to your session, not the fleet, and the message resets when you return. A 2024 look at Royal's homepage found the same flash sale countdown ran 47 times across the year. Looks urgent now, costs more later if you lock into a non-refundable fare and miss a better drop. Do this instead. Track prices for 2 to 4 weeks using a Google Sheet and free fare alerts. Sites like Cruise Watch and Cruise Sheet can ping you when your sailing dips. Most lines honor price reductions within set windows. Per Royal policy, you can reprice up to 48 hours before sailing in many markets, while Carnival typically allows adjustments until final payment. Book refundable when possible, so you can rebook cleanly if a deal improves. Here's a pro tip. Test the urgency claim. Open an incognito window, clear cookies, or check the next day. If 2 cabins left appears verbatim again, you're seeing a marketing nudge, not a sellout. If you do see a genuine spike, screenshot the fare and call to lock it with the lowest change risk option. There's one booking add-on that sounds like a no-brainer but traps people into overpaying, and I'll reveal it in 2 minutes. Before we get there, let's talk about the pre-cruise purchase, the drink package. Scam number 4, all-inclusive drink packages that cost more than drinks. Unlimited drinks sound like easy savings, and people click by assuming they'll crush 6 cocktails a day. The math usually says otherwise. On Royal Caribbean, the deluxe beverage package often runs $70–90 per day before gratuity. With cocktails at $12–15, you need 6 to 7 drinks every day to break even. Port days, early bedtimes, and a queasy stomach cut that number fast, and the automatic 18–20% service charge nudges the break-even higher. What you expect versus what you get often diverges. Packages commonly exclude the minibar, Starbucks-branded locations, souvenir mugs, and bottles to take back to your cabin. Some ports add local tax on drinks while docked, which the package doesn't always absorb. Per the line's terms, many exclusions sit in the footnotes. Suite enclaves sometimes include drinks, which changes your math dramatically. Loyalty happy hours on Royal or Celebrity can reduce spending. Do what savvy cruisers do. Track your vacation habits for 2 or 3 days before you buy. If you average 3 to 4 drinks a day, pay a la carte or pair a la carte with a soda package around $8–10 per day. A useful pro tip is to buy nothing ahead and grab a single day on board if a sea day blows up. You'll often come out ahead. Line quirks matter. Carnival's Cheers has a 15-drink daily cap, so even heavy drinkers hit a ceiling. On MSC, premium liquors often cost extra. With Norwegian's Free at Sea, some fares include a drinks package, so the math flips. If it's free, take it, though you'll still owe the service charge. Sober cruisers and families with under 21s should skip and grab bottled water in port for $1–2 instead of $3–5 on board. Drinks are predictable. The next trap is sneakier. Add-ons that sound like included perks but aren't. Scam number 5, specialty dining packages that cost more than booking each meal. Bundled specialty dining looks like easy savings, so people grab a 3-night package before they pick a single restaurant. The catch is in what you give up. You're locked into a set number of cover charges. You can't share packages between cabins, and the clock starts ticking the moment you board. Miss a night, get sick, or discover you prefer the main dining room, and the value evaporates. What actually happens is the math is thin, and the flexibility penalty is real. Packages often exclude premium items like lobster, dry-aged cuts, seafood towers, and chef-tasting add-ons, which become extra charges. Per Royal policy, the 3-night dining package is non-refundable. If a venue is sold out, you'll be moved to an alternate time or restaurant, not refunded. Looks cheaper now, costs more later if you compromise on menus and times you didn't want. Do this instead. Book a la carte in the cruise planner 3 to 4 weeks before sailing, where single venue discounts of 20 to 30% are common. If you're unsure, wait until onboard. Same-day seats open on sea days, and you can judge the vibe first. On Carnival, the steakhouse sometimes drops to around $20–25 in limited onboard promos compared with a $45 package equivalent. Pro tip, reserve one marquee venue and leave the rest open. You'll keep choice and often pay less overall. Package, $159 for 3 meals, $53 each. A la carte pre-cruise, $59 per meal. You save $18 total while giving up all flexibility. Suite enclaves like Haven, Yacht Club, or The Retreat may include dining access. Personal exception. Big families on Princess occasionally break even with chef's table when everyone wants the set menu and time. Dining packages lock you in. The next trap removes something you thought was included. Scam number 6, Wi-Fi unlimited, plans with fine print speed throttles. Unlimited Wi-Fi sounds like freedom at sea, but onboard unlimited rarely means what you think. Most first-timers pay $150 to $250 per person expecting Netflix, Zoom, and remote work. What you actually get on many ships is 1 to 3 Mbps per device, video blocked or throttled, and random disconnects every 30 to 60 minutes. Royal Caribbean's Voom and Celebrities Accelerate can run faster on newer ships, sometimes 5 to 10 Mbps, yet live calls still stutter and drop. Carnival, MSC, and Princess plans are often slower with more outages, especially on older hardware and busy sea days. That's not the crew fault. The whole ship shares limited satellite bandwidth. Do what savvy cruisers do. Buy the cheapest social or messaging tier and keep usage to text apps like iMessage and WhatsApp. Download shows, playlists, maps, and work files before embarkation. Turn off auto updates, cloud photo backups, and Wi-Fi calling. If work can't wait, plan to connect in port. Many Caribbean and Mediterranean ports have reliable cafe Wi-Fi or low-cost SIMs and eSIMs that beat ship prices by a mile. Pro tip: when you must join a call, go audio only, kill background apps, and stand near a window or hotspot. Test speed first with a quick upload. Per a 2024 Cruise Critic survey, 68% of cruisers rated onboard Wi-Fi poor or unusable for work, even with premium plans. Set expectations early. Remote workers should think hard. A land trip or a hotel workcation may be cheaper, faster, and far less stressful than fighting a shaky connection at sea. We're halfway through the booking traps, but the number one worst offender is still ahead. First, let's hit 2 quick port day scams. Speaking of port days, let's talk about shore excursions, where the markup is outrageous. Scam number 7. Ship sold shore excursions marked up 40–100% and you can miss the boat. The ship's excursion desk feels like a safe play. They guarantee you won't miss the ship. Most first-time cruisers book everything there and pay for peace of mind. The catch is price and experience. Ship tours often run $89 to $299 per person for activities you can book independently for $40 to $120. The guarantee is real. The ship will wait if their tour is late. But in major ports like Cozumel and St. Thomas, reputable operators build in buffers and return 60 to 90 minutes early. Onboard tours are frequently 40 people on a bus, rushed photo stops, and a 30-minute free shopping detour where the line earns commission. Example: the ship sold Cozumel snorkel at $89 adult through Royal versus the same operator's site at $55 for a 4-hour small group trip with more water time. Do this instead. Research in cruise critics' port forums, port-specific Facebook groups, and among top-rated operators. Look for small group tours of 6 to 12, written confirmation of all aboard timing, and insurance. Book directly with the operator, not through aggregators, to avoid a 15–20% platform markup. Check reviews from the last 6 months and confirm the back to ship by buffer in writing. Pro tip: set your own rule. Be at the pier no later than all aboard minus 90 minutes. Add more time if tendering. Yes, you can miss the boat on a private tour if you cut it close. The ship waits for its own excursions, not for independence. If you're anxious about clocks, traveling with small kids, or need accessible coaches, the premium for ship tours can be worth it. In less developed ports such as Roatan or Haiti, ship-vetted tours may be the safer choice. Security comes first. Choose the option that matches your risk tolerance and the port. And remember to keep receipts and times. Once you're in port, there's a shopping scam waiting at almost every pier. Scam, rebate, port shopping, tax-free deals and cruise line commission stores. Port shops plaster tax-free on every window, and the cruise line's map circles a handful of recommended stores, so most people assume they're getting a deal. That assumption is expensive. Many pierside chains, Diamonds International, Effie, Del Sol, pay cruise lines commissions of roughly 10–40%, and that cost is baked into the sticker. A tax-free $1,200 Tanzanite pendant often shows up online around $600 once you check the model and carat details. Here's how the game plays out. You're greeted with a cruise-exclusive discount, a free charm or tote, and a salesperson who says the price disappears when your ship leaves. The urgency is manufactured, and the gifts usually require a purchase. Watches, gems, and electronics are the worst offenders. Even liquor can be pricier than what you'd pay at home at Costco or a domestic duty-free. Do what savvy cruisers do instead. Never buy high-ticket items on impulse in port. Photograph the item, the tag, and the model number. Then price check during your sea day. If a shop says, "Today only," thank them and walk away. Real value survives a pause. For spirits, compare the per-liter cost and add your allowance and airline baggage rules. Leakage and overage fees kill fake savings. Per cruise critics, port shopping warning threads and FTC guidance. These tactics are common and the refund process is often difficult. Pro tip: walk 3 blocks inland or skip the recommended grid entirely. Local markets and artisan stalls away from the pier frequently drop 40–60% versus the waterfront, and you'll get something actually made there. Reality check: that $2,000 watch sells for $850. The shopping pressure is annoying. But this next onboard trap can cost you $300 in minutes. Quick check-in. How many of these traps have you already hit? Drop a comment and tell me if you bought the drink package and regretted it, or if you dodged a scam I haven't covered yet. If this is saving you money, tap like and subscribe so you don't miss the follow-up. I'll link a best cruise value add-ons video in the description. The flip side of this list, with what actually pays off. We've covered booking and port traps. Now we're moving into onboard upsells that prey on vacation brains, starting with a photo package twist Royal rolled out in 2025. And stick around for number 1. It's pushed on embarkation day. Scam number 9. Auto-enrolled photo packages you didn't ask for. You didn't buy a photo package, but your cruise app says you did. That's the new twist. On Royal Caribbean, and on some celebrity ships in 2025, guests are auto-enrolled in unlimited photo bundles unless they opt out in the app or cruise planner at least 3 days before sailing. The bundle sounds convenient, yet the reality is a gallery of 50+ shots, many duplicates or awkward poses, and a download window that expires 30 days after you get home. Miss the deadline, and the pictures disappear. Forget to opt out, and the charge posts at disembarkation. Other lines push hard on embarkation day. Photographers greet you at the gangway with complimentary portraits that start a trial or pre-select a bundle in your account. Policy says optional. Onboard it feels automatic. Do what savvy cruisers do. Open your app today, tap Add-Ons, and remove any photo package you didn't choose. Screenshot the change and your balance. Onboard say, "No thanks, we're using phones," and keep walking. If you do want pro shots, wait until day 3, when packages often drop to $99–$140 versus $299 pre-cruise, and buy only if you've previewed images you actually like. A useful pro tip is to ask for 1 mini session at golden hour and skip hallway snaps. You'll get keepers without the clutter. Per Royal's 2025 FAQ, the opt-out window matters, so set a reminder when you book. Also confirm what unlimited means, digital only, print sizes, and whether retouching is included. Persona nuance, multi-generational trips, milestone celebrations, or families with grandparents often value the memories. If that's you, opt in deliberately. Designate one formal night and appoint a single decision-maker to cull and download daily so nothing expires. Photos you can skip. But this next free event will cost you way more if you attend. Scam number 10. Free art auctions, wine tastings, and investment seminars, Timeshare 2.0. The daily planner promises a complimentary champagne art auction, or a free wine tasting with keepsake glasses, so you pop in for a seat and a sip. That's the hook. The host warms up the crowd, calls out, "investment quality," and within minutes, people are bidding or adding a premium wine package they never planned to buy. It feels like entertainment. It's a sales room. What actually happens on many ships is high-pressure selling dressed as culture. Park West Gallery runs most auctions and pushes $500, $5,000 pieces with glossy appraisals and auction-only pricing that can be higher than online. Wine events start free, then pivot to $200, $800 packages or even $1,200 wine futures. The champagne is usually inexpensive Prosecco, and those keepsake glasses run about $35 if you don't buy a case. Protect yourself without killing the vibe. If you go, decide before you sit. You will not buy today. Treat it as a show. For art, note the artist and title and search Onboard. Many Park West items list on resale sites for 40–60% less. For wine, compare the pitch against cruise planner pricing. The exclusive Onboard deal rarely wins. Pro tip: snap your wall measurements so impulse sizes look absurd next to reality. Be crew respectful. Auctioneers and sommeliers are doing their jobs. A calm, "No, thank you," is enough. If you feel pressured, step out and price check before committing. The Better Business Bureau logged hundreds of complaints about Park West as of 2024, which signals who benefits when decisions are rushed. Serious collectors should skip ship auctions altogether. Provenance and edition clarity are often murky. Spend your money where memories, not markups, live. Art auctions are obvious traps once you know. This next scam is invisible until disembarkation day. Scam 11. Hidden gratuity, auto increases, and bait-and-switch service fees. You booked with one gratuity rate, then a few weeks later you notice it's suddenly higher. That's not a glitch. Several lines, including NCL and MSC, reserve the right to change daily service charges at any time, and if your sailing departs after the effective date, you pay the new rate, even if you booked months earlier. In late 2024, Carnival lifted gratuities from $14.50 to $16 per day, and anyone sailing after Jan 1, 2025 pays more. You see the total only when the onboard account finally closes. Here's where it gets messier. Menus and room service often add service fee or delivery lines that duplicate your automatic gratuity. Specialty venues quote a cover, then tack on a separate service percentage at final checkout. Looks small, but it's a bait and switch when it stacks on the daily pool. Do what savvy cruisers do. Prepay gratuities at the booking date rate if your line allows it. Royal Caribbean and Princess typically let you lock the old rate when you prepay. Before the end, audit your folio in the app. 48 hours before disembarkation, search for duplicates labeled service fee, delivery charge, or automatic gratuity. If you spot double billing, go to guest services immediately. Corrections are far easier on board than post-cruise. Pro tip: screenshot the policy page and your prepaid confirmation so you have clean evidence. Ethical nuance matters. Gratuities support crew across dining rooms, staterooms, galleys, and laundry. The issue isn't tipping, it's transparency. If you prefer to hand cash directly to your steward or waiter, ask whether removing auto gratuities reduces pooled tips for unseen crew, and follow each line's policy pages and 2024-2025 announcements before you decide. Up next, a fee trap that can blow your budget by $500 plus in one afternoon. Scam 12, spa and salon packages with mandatory 20% gratuity, on top of inflated prices. That $249 spa day looks luxe until the checkout slip reads $348. It happens because most onboard spas, often run by Steiner Leisure, price treatments 100-200% above land rates and add an automatic 18-20% gratuity that isn't in the headline. A $249 couples massage becomes roughly $290 after the service charge. Then the therapist recommends $8,200 of marine collagen products mid-treatment. Embarkation day packages sweeten the pitch with bonus treatments that are really 10-minute scalp or hand add-ons. Not extra time on the table. Do what savvy cruisers do. If you want a massage, book a reputable spa in port. Cozumel, St. Martin, and Aruba have options, where you'll pay 50-70% less for the same 50 minutes. If you prefer the ship, skip the embarkation seminar and book on day 2 or 3 when it's calmer. Ask for a la carte pricing, and confirm the all-in total including auto gratuity before you undress. Pro tip: tell the receptionist you don't want retail recommendations and ask them to note no products on the ticket. If sales start anyway, say, "I'll think about it," and do not return later. Reality check. Some menus tack on service or facility fees on top of the daily gratuity. Clarify what's included, how long 50 minutes actually means on the table, and whether access to thermal suites is extra. Per a 2024 Cruise Critic poll, 61% of spa users felt pressured to buy products on board. Therapists are doing the job they're trained to do. Be polite but firm. Contrast: $249 sounds luxe. $348 for a 50-minute massage you could get in port for $90 is not. For guests with mobility challenges who can't go ashore, convenience may justify the premium. Just lock the final price first. Spa upsells are frustrating but optional. The next two scams are unavoidable unless you know the workaround. Scam 13, casino free play, offers and gambling loss rebate traps. You open a pre-cruise email that shouts $100 free play, and it feels like house money. Most people tap the offer, pick up a card on board, and sit down thinking the first spins are on the ship. That's the trap. The free credits usually stay locked until you put through $500 or $1,000 of your own coin in, and only then do restricted credits trickle in. Hosts also push loss rebates. Lose $1,000 and get $200 back. But the payback arrives as future cruise credit, not cash, and it expires in about a year. Meanwhile, cruise slot paybacks are often reported around 8 to 12% in the house's favor, versus roughly 2 to 5% in Vegas resorts, per casino review summaries, so your money disappears faster at sea. Translation: the host says, free $100, but it really means spend $800 first, then get $100 you can't easily cash out. Do what savvy cruisers do. Treat the casino as entertainment, not income. Set a hard limit, $100 to $200 total for the trip. Leave the card when you hit it and don't chase. Skip free play offers and decline loss rebates. They're loyalty traps designed to keep you playing. If you play anyway, favor lower edge games and learn basic strategy, take breaks, and pocket small wins. A useful pro tip is to visit guest services on day one and cap or disable charging on your card so the casino can't roll losses to your folio. If gambling triggers you, protect your vacation. Consider ships with a softer casino presence, sail with friends who will hold you accountable, or skip the casino entirely. Ask for help early. Casinos are at least honest gambling. The next service pretends to help while quietly gouging you. Scam number 14. Currency exchange kiosks and onboard foreign transaction fees. Exchanging cash at the ship's desk or tapping the onboard ATM feels convenient, but it's the priciest way to get money at sea. Onboard exchange rates typically run 5–12% worse than bank ATMs in port, and ship ATMs add a $5–7 fee plus any bank charges. Another leak. When your card currency differs, terminals may auto-convert at inflated rates, so that bar tab, Wi-Fi, or excursion ends up higher than the sticker. Do what savvy cruisers do. Use a no foreign transaction fee credit card for all onboard spending so the network converts at the real interbank rate. In port, pull local currency only from a bank-owned ATM and take just what you need for the day. On European itineraries, link your onboard account to a euro-denominated card if you have one to avoid two conversions. When a terminal asks if you want to be charged in your home currency, decline and choose the ship's or local currency to avoid dynamic currency conversion markups. Pro tip: set transaction alerts in your banking app. If you see merchant conversion, ask them to rerun in local currency immediately. Here's the math. A $100 onboard purchase on a euro price sailing converts to $95 at the ship's rate versus about $92 at the network rate, a $3.50 premium. Stretch that across drinks, souvenirs, and service charges for a week, and you're out $40 or $80 for nothing. Check posted exchange boards at guest services, and compare real-time rates from a trusted index before you swap. International guests sailing US-priced ships should still select to pay in the ship's currency at checkout to dodge conversion padding. We've covered 14 scams, but the next one is pushed hardest, traps the most people, and delivers the least real protection. Scam number 15, the big one. Travel protection and cruise line insurance versus real travel insurance. At checkout, you see a friendly box. Yes, protect my trip, priced around $150 to $400. Most people click because they feel smart. That's the trap. What you've added with Royal, Carnival, NCL, or Princess is typically a cancellation waiver bundled with limited benefits, not a robust policy that pays cash when life happens. It sounds safe. It's narrow. Here's what actually happens per the fine print on the plan PDFs. The waiver portion usually covers line-initiated problems, itinerary changes, or mechanical issues, not your problems. Your illness, a parent's fall, job loss, or a child's strep before embarkation. Often excluded. Pre-existing conditions are generally excluded unless you meet strict timing rules the waiver does not offer. Medical evacuation, which can run $50,000 to $100,000 from the Caribbean to a U.S. hospital, is commonly missing or capped too low to matter. Miss the ship after a delayed flight or get stuck in port? The waiver rarely reimburses those costs, and the refund is often future cruise credit, not money back to your card. Contrast it with real coverage. Cruise line plan, $279, covers mechanical failures, offers future cruise credit, lots of exclusions. Real insurance, about $220 through a third party, covers medical evacuation, illness, missed connections, interruption, baggage, and pays cash, not store credit. Per a widely shared 2024 case, a guest who suffered a heart attack on day 3 needed a $68,000 airlift. The cruise sold plan paid $0 because evacuation wasn't covered, while a comprehensive policy would have covered the flight and hospital costs up to the stated limits. Do this instead. Skip the checkbox plan. Buy a comprehensive third-party policy from a reputable insurer, and do it within 14 days of your first deposit to qualify for a pre-existing condition waiver. Look for strong medical and evac limits, trip cancellation and interruption, missed connection benefits, and 24/7 assistance. If you want extra flexibility, add cancel for any reason, so a change of plans doesn't trap you in cruise credit. Pro tip: compare a few policies side by side and read the schedule of benefits line by line. Focus on evacuation, interruption, and refund method. A nuance to know. In some markets, the cruise sold plan bundles a small underwritten policy with the waiver, but the cancellation path still steers you to future cruise credit, and the medical pieces are limited. Policy says protection. What happens on board is credit with strings. Who needs real insurance most? Seniors, anyone with pre-existing conditions or immunocompromised travelers, families juggling kids' illnesses, and international guests with costly flights. Budget cruisers tempted to skip it should at least carry a basic comprehensive plan or CFAR add-on, so cash isn't locked in a voucher. The bottom line is simple. If you can only afford one add-on, make it real travel insurance, not a waiver. Okay, we've covered all 15. Let's recap the big money savers, and I'll point you to what to watch next. That's your playbook. We just covered 3 phases where money quietly leaks. In booking, ignore fake timers, skip unknown OTAs, and do the math on drink and dining bundles before you lock in. Onboard, treat photos, spa pitches, the casino, and free events as optional entertainment, not automatic buys. In port and at disembarkation, book small group tours directly, avoid pier map shopping, dodge ship exchange rates, and skip checkbox insurance. Dodge these 15 traps and you'll save about $300 to $200 per cruise, enough to upgrade to a balcony, add a private tour, or extend your trip with real value. Most cruisers click fast and pay later. Savvy cruisers slow down, verify terms and prices, and spend where memories, not markups, live. If this helped, hit like and subscribe. I post a new cruise money saver every week. Now you know what to avoid. Next, watch my top 10 cruise add-ons that are actually worth it. The drink plans that do pencil out, the excursion splurge worth every penny, and 2 sleeper upgrades most people miss. Book smarter, cruise happier. See you in the next one.